I refuse to accept a world where people are punished for seeking safety or silenced for speaking the truth. I refuse a system that values profit over people and power over love. And that is why I am so very proud to tell you that I stand with Zohran Mamdani.
Is it any wonder? Is it any wonder why the WNBA is nowhere close to agreeing on a new collective bargaining agreement? Is it any wonder why the 2026 WNBA season is likely to be canceled? For starters, I have not heard a voice that deep on a woman since the 90s when RuPaul had a talk show on VH1. The Just for Men samples provided to WNBA players, they must be incredibly strong. If you're listening to me on audio platforms, you probably think the voice endorsing Zorro for mayor of New York City was coming from a dude. And if you were thinking that it was coming from a woman, you're probably assuming that it was the voice of Bob Greiner. But that was the lovely voice of Natasha Cloud, the proud socialist activist who works part-time as a pretend basketball player in the WNBA dump. That was the voice of Natasha Cloud speaking a bunch of words without really saying a damn thing. We value people over profit. We value love over power. I love love. Let's sing my favorite love song. I love you. You love me. My voice sounds post-puberty. I endorse Mamdani for mayor of NYC. He will give us equity. I find it ironic that Natasha Cloud is whispering these sweet nothings to a crowd of lonely men. I find it ironic that Natasha Cloud is complaining about evil corporations who value profit. I find it ironic that she is claiming to value love over power. This is another prime example of looking at someone's actions instead of consuming their toxic mouth farts. Natasha Cloud is all about socialism, or as she prefers to call it, democratic socialism, which is just a fancy way of saying, I'm a communist. Natasha Cloud is all about communism until it affects her personally. When it affects her personally, Natasha Cloud seems to be a capitalist. Of course, Natasha Cloud claims to value people over profit. In her 10 years in the WNBA dump, Natasha Cloud has failed to generate an Ethiopian breadcrumb in profit. But when it comes to her own bank account, when it comes to putting money in her own account, when it comes to fighting for power in the WNBA for players, all of a sudden, Natasha Cloud is no longer worried about the people that the money actually belongs to. She's not worried about showing love to the diva of dump diva Kat Engelbert. When it affects her personally, Natasha Cloud wants all the power and all the money. What was that phrase again? Pay us what you owe us. Pay us what you owe us. Keyword, owe. You see, I think that's one of the holdups in negotiations for a CBA. Players like Natasha Cloud believe that they are owed something instead of having to earn it. But even with that being the case, even with NBA owners investing hundreds of millions of dollars into this dump and never seeing a single peso in return, they were willing to be generous, even though the vast majority of players in this league are not worth the money they're currently being paid. The WNBA was willing to be generous. They were willing to offer substantial raises to WNBA players. But as is always the case with people infected with entitlement, WNBA players responded and said, it ain't enough. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. So I want to get to the sponsor for today's video, my good friends at Sugar Mountain Trading. As you guys know, I've got very young nephews. My oldest is 8, my youngest nephew is 6. Like most young kids, they deal with various skin ailments. Psoriasis, eczema, itchy, dry skin. Hell, I'm not a doctor. I'm not qualified to diagnose what the hell it is. I just know it's a nuisance they no longer have to deal with because my sister started using oat and honey soap from Sugar Mountain Trading. This soap is ideal for sensitive skin, offering a gentle yet effective solution for various dermatological issues. Its American-made origins guarantees the highest standards of production. It also comes available with CBD. Take this right here. Also comes available with CBD, so if you're dealing with skin issues and pain at the same time, CBD version, take care of both of them. You'll be pain-free and smelling like fresh raspberries. Hell, that is literally the reason my wife uses it. She uses the standard CBD oil for pain, but she prefers the soap because it smells good. Like I said, the oat and honey soap, available with or without CBD. So become pain-free while smelling fresh today by clicking the link in the description below. Use my promo code BTL20, BTL20. Save 20% off your first purchase with Sugar Mountain Trading. Let me ask you something. Let's pretend for a second that you're working a sales job. You've been with the company for decades and you've been living off your salary because you're not giving commissions. And the reason you're not giving commissions is because you don't sell shit. You couldn't sell Preparation H to attendees at the Butt Bongo Festival. You couldn't sell ladders to WNBA players to give them the ability to dunk a basketball. For decades, you have been a money loser for the organization. At this point, you're basically a sympathy employee. You're the guy that's been with the company for so long that they really don't have the heart to fire you. One day, you walk into the office because you're damn sure not on the street selling anything. Your boss asks you to come see him, or her, or they. You sit down, and they tells you that they have some great news. Even though you are financially worthless, even though you provide minimal value to the organization, they have decided to give you a 70% increase in salary. Let's say you're making $100,000 a year. Now you'll be making $170,000 a year. Would you accept those terms, or would you reject their generous offer and threaten to quit? Obviously, that is a very basic analogy, but that is similar to what WNBA players are doing right now. Last Friday, Front Office Sports released a report detailing what the WNBA was willing to offer players. Currently, the veteran minimum in the WNBA is around $78,000 a year. The league was willing to raise it to $300,000 a year. Now, keep in mind, this would be the salary given to unknown role players. This would be the minimum salary given to players who struggle to be recognized at family reunions. Right now, max salary in the WNBA, $250,000 a year. Now, for players like Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, hell, I'll even include Asia Wilson. For the handful of star players in the league, I think we can all agree that $250,000, not enough. The WNBA was willing to acknowledge that it wasn't enough, and they offered to increase the maximum salary to $850,000 a year. Now, I'm no expert in math, but that is a significant raise. But as expected, WNBA players are saying it's not enough. The question is, what is enough? Because the league is taking a massive risk by offering $850,000. The problem is, WNBA players want revenue sharing. They want a percentage of the revenue that the league is generating. Obviously, league not willing to do that. If the WNBA were smart, they would rescind their original offer of $850,000 for maximum contracts, and they would offer WNBA players a profit-sharing plan. Of course, WNBA players would immediately reject that deal because the league struggles to generate profit, which means they would be making nothing. I do think the WNBA will be profitable this season. For the first time ever, I do think the WNBA will report profit for the 2025 season. But the concern the league has going forward is how long will that be sustainable? One of the reasons the WNBA will be profitable this year is because of the hundreds of millions of dollars they have received from expansion teams. I'm no expert in business, but I just don't think you can depend on that every year. Contrary to popular belief, I actually understand where WNBA players are coming from. They see all this money. They see the hundreds of millions of dollars from expansion teams. They see the $200 million from the broadcast rights deal, and they want their share of the revenue. I get it. But at the same time, you got to understand the league's perspective, and that's what WNBA players seem to be refusing to do. Historically, this league is allergic to profit. If you put a pile of free money in front of the WNBA, they would sneeze and blow it all away. 30 years in business, and you have one profitable year. And that's assuming that the WNBA was profitable this past season. I don't think it's unreasonable for the league to be concerned about long-term sustainability. Think about it. If they commit to revenue sharing, if they commit to multi-million-dollar long-term contracts, and ratings return to historical norms, attendance returns to empty arenas, hell, tickets for the WNBA finals were just selling for $30. If they give WNBA players what they want, and they see a drastic decrease in revenue for whatever reason, the league could potentially go bankrupt. This growth the WNBA is experiencing, it is not guaranteed to continue. That's where the league is coming from. That's what they're trying to make players understand. One of the problems in negotiations was highlighted by Adam Silver last week. Both the WNBA and WNBA players, they have allowed this to become personal. Both sides have allowed their emotion to overcome logic. According to the New York Times, Kelsey the plumber has complained that negotiations have been too combative. According to ESPN, Nafisha Collier is claiming that her relationship with Kat Engelbert is beyond repair. If the relationship is beyond repair, how in the hell can you negotiate? How can you negotiate with someone when you're outright refusing to meet with them? My stance on this has not changed, and I don't see it changing. The deadline to reach an agreement is October 31st, which is just over 2 weeks away. That ain't gonna happen. And I don't think they will reach an agreement anytime soon. Unless something drastically changes, I don't think there's going to be a season in the WNBA next year. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.